And welcome y'all to Conversations with, actually, that's a lie. This is a motherfucking recap, bitch. Yeah, son. Listen, we gonna have a recap. We got for the boys. I have literally everybody with the exception of Mr. Chandler Bryant. We're gonna be getting him. That's gonna be later. But right now, let me introduce y'all who we have. All right, so we're gonna go in front of the camera first. We're going to have, Andrew Montgomery Coleman. He will have been playing the great Jamal for you. And somebody near and dear to my heart, the character of Syed, my spirit animal, the motherfucker that sends me through the roof each and every episode, is played by the fabulous Lamont Walker II. And we got him in the house. But we have more, because you wouldn't be able to have these awesome characters without having the brainchilds behind them. Excuse me, the masterminds behind them, I should say. So first, coming on up here, we're gonna have Mr. Mekhai. That's gonna be one half. He's gonna be a creator, executive producer, director, writer, whatever you need. And then his counterpart, leading in Black of the Berry appearances, just in general. Literally, Ellis is out here killing the motherfucking game. Hey, Ed, just some fucking guy. You got to step your shit up. And listen, we have his other co-creator, his other co-producer, his other co-writer, his other co-director, Mr. Ellis Dawson, the motherfucking third. Hey, yo, I know we don't got lows, but snap. Listen, welcome. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming on by. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
So I gotta come out the gate, and I'm gonna come out the gate hot to Mr. Walker. Actually,
What's up?
Before we get into anything, before we get into how awesome episode 3 and episode 4 were, before we get into the shooting, the behind the scenes, the hilariousness, there was a serious moment in episode 3. Mr. Walker, you had to stand in front of a mirror, and you basically had to, was that episode 2 or episode?
Yeah, it was episode 2.
Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, people. It was episode 2. Well, thank y'all for catching me. In episode 2, you stood in front of this mirror, and you basically went through body dysmorphia. To me, that's how I took it. And then, obviously we're thinking about, you have everything on the wall, thinking about what you wanted to be, what you could be. You just went through it. Where did you go mentally for that?
Wow. I think that we as Black queer men have this standard that we have to live up to. And I think that all of us can relate to looking in the mirror and hating something about yourself. I was going to a place that I look at when I look in the mirror in that moment. It was really personal. And I'm so happy that they decided to write that in the show, because I think it's something that we all go through that we don't really talk about too much. You want to present yourself to be the best version of yourself, but really and truly, we all have things that we see that we hate, that we want to change, that maybe we're just not comfortable with. And we only really get to expose that when you're by yourself and nobody's around. So yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled that they put that in there for real.
Oh gosh. Mr. Lee and Ellis.
Yeah.
Mr. Dawson, excuse me. Question. Yeah, right. Let me put some respect on y'all mother. When y'all were writing that scene, I need to know a few things, because I'm telling you, I'm sending you all my medical bills. One, what made you decide for it to be the character of Syed? Because when Ellis and Andrew and I had a conversation, Andrew brought up a really good point. He said any of them could have played it. And then Ellis backed up and said any of the boys could have played it. So I just wanted to know what made it so that you needed to put it with the character of Syed. And then how did that conversation go between y'all? Was it supposed to be for Jamal maybe? Was it maybe supposed to go to Anthony and y'all switched it? Like, what was the, talk to me, baby. I needs it all. I needs the tea, as Wendy would say.
Well, I like the idea that it can be any of them. Like, I think that is spot on. I remember watching that recap and thinking, just completely agreeing with them. But I think we went with Syed because it's the last person you expect it to be. You know what I mean? When we see Syed in episode 1, he's confident. He comes on like a ball of fire. And when we finally get to see the layers kind of removed from him, you find out that on the inside he might not feel so much like as confident as he portrays. So I think it's because we chose him because it was the most surprising to us. Sometimes it's really interesting when you're writing these characters, they end up surprising you, even though you kind of conceived them and you had all the ideas, putting it out there and everything. These characters can, really shock you in a multitude of ways, because it's just like you're not expecting, certain characters to kind of come up in these certain instances, And I think, when the idea came up to make it Syed, it was surprising, but it was also really intriguing and exciting. And I think Ellis was like, oh, we have to because Ellis really took the charge on that scene, and there were like a lot of ideas that we had going back and forth there, and like while we were when we had the original draft of it, it was like a lot less interesting. I think what Christian was doing at that time wasn't like really resonating with Syed enough for an audience to kind of anchor into it. So I think Ellis came in and was just like kind of doctored it up and was just like, oh, yo, we're gonna make this like moment really strong. We're gonna make this moment really like kind of ping so that people like really resonate to it,
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll make the body dysmorphia kind of sink in deeper if it's like somebody really peeling the layers back for him, instead of it being Syed being like, this is what's wrong with me, kind of like, let me show it out to the world or whatever. So I think that's what it came from me,
Yeah, and I'll keep this short, but I think that a big part of it also is we were writing from real life, and you would be surprised. I'm gonna just talk about my friends, but I have some of the most beautiful, talented, intriguing, intelligent, amazing, wonderful friends. And for some reason, I was seeing that a lot of them were having the same issues. They all felt like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, this is wrong with me. This is wrong with me. There was not all of them, but there were a few. So we were pulling from that experience because it was just so interesting. It's like, how do you not see what everyone else sees? And I've had people say that to me. I've had people be like, how do you not see what everyone else sees? Right. So yeah, that's where that came from. And I also just thought it was super important to just show that in general in Black men, because we don't.
That's
so, on screen. We don't see it on screen in media.
Yes, and this is actually this scene I was talking about with a few of my friends. And I come from a hyper masculine background. So I'm talking to old college football players, and we all were having to make weight. And then I was like, yo, let me tell you what I just saw that was fucking our life. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I explained the scene, and they was like, nah. I said he was in front of the mirror like we used to be. Looking at ourselves, trying to figure out, are we thick enough? Are we big enough? Not liking what you see, but having to go with it because you got no choice. That shit was, yo, listen. And the way you did it, when you put that fucking smile on your face, Lamont, I'm pretty sure, did I lose it in here? I think I fucking, yeah. I'm looking at my partner like, I'm pretty sure I lost it in this fucking place. I was like, this motherfucker. It was a lot.
Yo,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No worries. I just want to say, like, that smile moment, all of that came from, we get affirmations like you love yourself, you're good, just like smile through the pain, and that's kind of what I think Syed does. He covers. So it's like, I'm gonna put this smile on, I'm gonna put this confidence on, I'm gonna layer on all of these masks to hide the truth of that. And in that moment, he just couldn't, because of the conversation. No matter what mask he had, Christian was able to see all the way through that, and he hated that. He hated it so much.
They ain't no lie. And let me tell you people something. There is going to be something that we're going to continue on. There's going to be a theme that we're going to have on this. And the theme is put your stimulus money to something great. Now, listen here, motherfuckers. You got this GoFundMe page out here. I need you to do something. Go on your internet machines right now. Pull up the Internet Explorer, the Google Chrome machine, whatever it is that you use. Go on the GoFundMe page. Let me give you it. It's going to be GoFundMe.com/F/GoFundTheBoys. Listen, when you donate on GoFundMe, it is tax deductible, you silly bastards. So do the right thing, because if you want to continue to have these great stories told in the way that they are, because I'm telling you this shit, Ellis said it when they did when they did their promo for it. If you want to have some fucking Showtime, Cinemax, HBO shit, just do the right thing, baby. Dude, they just asking for a little bit of cheddar. They ain't asking for too much. You can hit them off with a 5, hit them off with a 10. Instead of getting that dub, put it to something good. I'm telling you, it's gonna help your heart. Now, back onto the scene for everybody. Now, I got another question. I'm gonna pull out the hat now. So, Mekhai, when you, Ellis, and Denzel sat down on Black of the Berry for the boys, actually, I can go check that out. Now, when we sat down, you had mentioned something that I couldn't wait to expand on. And now we got everyone here in this time. You said within the queer community, and I'm paraphrasing it, within the queer community, we can have a lifetime in a moment. And with what we're seeing with some of these characters, and I want everyone to answer, just not even from a character basis, but from your life. What does that mean to you, that statement? And how would you explain that to someone from the outside looking in?
Well, if I remember correctly, I remember speaking specifically about hookup culture.
Yes, hookup culture.
And what I meant by that was that, you know, when we have these random hookups in a lot of shows that we see when they represent queerness, well, first of all, I want to say that right away, I hate when queer sex is represented as super aggressive on like mainstream media. They always look like they fucking hate each other or hate themselves or whatever. It's like never any type of romance, any type of love there. So we really wanted to change that narrative too, because sex is sex. It can be about love. It can be about aggression. It can be about a lot of things. It's like a spectrum. So let's show the full spectrum instead of just showing it on straight couples. But that being said, when we have these hookup cultures, the queer hookup culture represented in mainstream media, a lot of the time, it's just like the sex part, you know? And I know in my experience with it, after the sex, you know, the after talk is when you kind of really meet a whole other side of a human being, which is something that is represented really well in that second episode. It's something that is revisited again in episode 4. And it's something that I kind of want to keep as a motif with Syed. You know, like we can see a glimpse into a lot of Black queer lives through Syed's, you know, promiscuity.
Hold on, not to cut you off. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not to cut you off, but I want to jump on that real fast too, because not only with Syed, but let's bring in Jamal. Yeah, Andrew, it's about time to come on to the front of the class, baby. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Jamal too in that, because yes, Syed actually, he perfectly reflects it, but I feel as if Jamal does too, especially with him dealing with the swirl. And this is what I mean, because if you've noticed, when it comes to Jamal, I feel as if he's having the toughest moments come after him and old boy just got finished doing what they do. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole basis of their relationship. And, you know, and the reason I feel that with him is because, okay, he wants a relationship with them, but he never really expressed it. But you're able to give up. You don't want to express that part, but you're able to give up your body in such ways and have these deep conversations about Blackness and real conversations about race relations that, you know, with the character Jamal and his friend group, they wouldn't really be necessarily dealing with that. So I feel as if him opening up to a white man in this regard, but then not wanting to go other places with them, like really express that I want to be in a relationship prior to getting put in a corner. I thought that was interesting to me in that regard of just sharing a lifetime of moment, because it's like one moment we'll share a lifetime and then the next we'll cut that shit right off.
Right.
Like what is the boundaries in that you think that we all have? Like, what is it that we are so willing to give our bodies, but then we won't have these other tougher conversations? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is the, like I'm going to give you my body, which can then give me a disease, which can then keep with me forever. But then I won't just sit here and tell you that, yo, listen, the reason that I'm really kind of feeling crazy is because like, I don't even know if I'm ever going to tell my roommate about you for like a year or two. I don't really know how it's going to go. I really want to be with you. I don't like, why can't we be vulnerable in that regard? But I'll give you my body.
I think that, especially in this society, in this culture, I think in this generation, we love to play house. We love to play house. You know, it feels comfortable when you're inside. It's like, oh, nothing else matters. It's just us. Fuck the world. Like, everything's great, you know. But then people don't want the commitment that comes along with it. I think that's a part of it. I think another part of it is that the real problem is that everyone's afraid of getting hurt. No one's afraid of falling in love. Everyone is afraid of getting hurt. So I think that's also a part of it. I think that when it comes to Jamal, I think that Jamal is always, he's a perfect example of the playing house. He's always wanted in a relationship. He's always wanted someone to be there for him in that way and make him feel super comfortable. It just makes it more complicated that the person that does all of this also brings up other feelings in him. So yeah, I think that a part of him, he knows eventually he has to say something, but I think that he wants to keep up the charade that everything is like good and dandy. He's like, how long can we keep this up until the other shoe has to drop, you know?
Right.
I think he's romanticizing the idea of this.
Of the relationship.
Sure.
So, Mr. Andrew, quick question for you. Because when you were playing this character, and you and I, we've been talking and everything like that. And I want to know, because you're a hilarious dude. And I know that though, like I can just sense that you got that you don't give a fuck in you. So my question becomes, when you had to play the other end of it, because I'm not going to lie, at first I was rooting for Jamal. I was really rooting for Jamal. And then I was like, you know what? He's fucked up for that. Because you got my man in here under false pretenses. He thinking that it's just a booty call, and it's not. So my question is, how did it feel for you having to play on the reverse of that? Because I feel as if, for me, I know it would come natural to be on the other end, being like, no, motherfucker, this is what you want to see the agreement in the text messages? I didn't agree to this shit. So how did it feel to put yourself in the other shoes?
I have been on Jamal's side before.
No.
Yeah.
You better than that.
Oh, I sure am not, or I wasn't.
I love it. I'm just kidding.
I think we all have to go through sort of our firsts as gay men. There's a lot, my first few situations, I saw them as things that maybe they weren't. And I had to work through that pain, a little bit embarrassment, and ultimately heartbreak. What that does is kind of like, I don't like to say this, but it hardens your heart a little bit.
Yes.
So while like Drew, at 27 can really like not give a fuck about something like, come bang and leave. Right. 20, like 19, 21. I was very much like, oh, we're gonna get married. And it just wasn't, you know what I mean? But you have to, we all have to go through that. And what's difficult is that as Black queer men, specifically from the South, I don't have my parents to talk to about it. I just go through it alone, and I make those mistakes alone, and I just fall on my face. But that happens enough times, you start looking where you're going, So to go back to that place, it wasn't very difficult. I'd experienced it before, not with white men, but like, I experienced it before, so it wasn't that difficult for me. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. But then it wouldn't be difficult for you either way, because you would be an actor, the same way that Lamont is, the same way that Ellis and Mekhai are in their day jobs. You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all do for a living. Y'all a beast. So, quick question now for Mr. Walker. Since I'm going to put everybody on blast here, I got to ask you as well, player.
Come on.
If you were asked to go to that place and be on the other end of it, like, have you been? Because I guess it's just for me. Like, I believe in like order, and what I mean by that is like, this is what we said. This is what, like, I follow directions. I'm very good at like, this is the contract. Okay, we can follow that. When people start reneging on shit, I bug the fuck out. So I'm just fascinated. Like, how are you with that? How would you have been able to go to that place? Have you been on the other end of it, or have you just been like me, who's, I guess, quote unquote, the asshole in the situation?
I'll have to say, Lamont and Syed differ, and Lamont's not really into the whole hookup culture situation. Like, I don't really do just hit it and quit it. I really like if I'm interested in you, I really want to be interested in you. I really want to explore something with you. I'm not saying I ain't never done it, but I'm saying that's not.
I'm really talking about that. I guess I'm talking about that place because the dean now is reformed. I am an adult. I don't got time for all that. But when I was in college, what else is there to, you know what I mean? Just, I guess we got 4 years of this, I guess, right? So I guess, was there ever a point in time that you were there, that you were in Jamal's shoes, basically?
Yeah, but I think I'm cool with that. I think I'm more like Jamal. I'm cool with the playing house. I'm cool with while we're in this moment, let's just be in this moment. And it's just this. Like, even though if we're here and this is what we're doing at this moment, let's just do that.
Really? What makes living in the moment?
Why are you confused?
Because no, this is why I'm confused, because living in the moment is a wonderful thing, but then it's scary too, because then you can lose yourself, right? I think we've all been in places where you've been in the moment. I guess that's why, because I've been in the moment and left the moment. And that moment has still not fucking left me, because I'm just trying to make sure I never go back there again. It's like, hold on. You didn't know your elbow from your asshole. Down was right. Wasn't even up. Down was right. Left was behind you. You understand what I'm saying? So
I understand.
So it's just like, and that was just because of relationship, not a hookup situation. So I guess for me, it's just, I am scared to live in moments.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why we're here, right? That's why we're here. We're here to take that moment and have that moment. It's just that. It can just be that. Sometimes it's just that moment. And then when you move on from that moment, it's no longer there. But the moment that we had. And then you can enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? You can enjoy that moment. But then once you leave that door, or once you once it's over, then it is what it is, unless you have a conversation about it. But if we're just living in that moment right now, if you want to cook me breakfast and you want to just play that right now, that's cool. I'm down for that. Let's do it.
I see what you're doing here. Okay. I see what you're doing on this show. I hear what you're doing. I ain't even mad at you. Go ahead and live your best life, player. So no, Ellis, go ahead, player.
Cook me breakfast.
Wait, hold on. We got you muted. You got to unmute yourself, player.
I was.
Oh wait, now hold on. Oops, hold on.
Wait.
There we go. Okay, there we go. We're good. I'm gonna stop.
No, I was just gonna say that. But if people want to live in this fantasy and there are no boundaries and conversations aren't had, it leads for excellent drama, which.
The boys got.
We do on purpose, so to watch. That's all I had to say.
Oh, absolutely, and then too, we gotta, listen, people, we're gonna have some fun with this, but I'm gonna try to tie everything back to these boys and then this show and series, because I want to talk to you all about how I'm talking to you, the viewers, motherfuckers. I'm trying to, and then because there's gonna be a lot of folk who are gonna be watching this, because y'all gonna see Dean and y'all gonna be straight. Stay on this motherfucker, because I'm trying to tell you what we're talking about is themes within our community that you fuckers like to run from. Guess what, folks? You got them in your motherfucking family. We are here. We're not going anywhere. We come in all different shades, shapes, and sizes, and our stories need to be told, because you heard Andrew say a point earlier. He says his parents are from the South, and he's not really, if he's dealing with something, he's dealing with it on his own. We shouldn't have to do that. You call us your brothers and your sisters, right? You need us in this fight of blackness. Let's start treating us as such. And the first thing, and the best way for you to do that, if you really want to show your respect, then you will actually go to GoFundMe.com right now. And what you would do is that you would then go to Go Fund the Boys. Just put your money where your mouth is, baby. That's all we're asking you. Don't talk about it. Just be about it. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. You ain't even got to tell you ain't got to tell nobody at the church. You ain't got to tell the deacon. You ain't got to tell the pastor. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Just go ahead and do it, because I'm telling you, God saw what you did when you were 16, that time when you were experimenting. We're going to leave it alone, though. Now, back on topic. So,
you did that. You did that.
It's the truth, baby. They acted like, they acted crazy. And I guess that is a great way to bring this up. There was a powerful scene. And this scene was, it had Syed, it had Jamal, and it has Anthony, played by Lamont, Andrew, and motherfucking Chandler. And this scene, it was in episode 1. It was after Chandler comes in, bitch, look at, I forgot the exact verbiage, but he comes in hot. And it was like, oh, this shit is about to be great. And then it crescendo great. And then you guys brought it to a real moment, talking about when he decided to wear his heels out. And then there was a moment in there where I think it was Jamal who asked him and said, like, no, it was Syed who said, how did it feel or whatever? And he was like, did you have any problems? And just was like, nah, I was fine. You know, the few issues I had were from like, you know, people who look like me. And then he was like, you know, be your own.
Be your own people.
Be your own people. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was different. Because like I said, I come from this hyper masculine background. When I come out, everybody was fucking shocked. And then the response I actually got most of the time, especially from a lot of the guys I went to college with and played with, they were like, what were you so nervous about? Whatever like that. And I was like, I just didn't know how everybody was gonna respond, whatever. And this was their exact words. Well, what the fuck were you scared about? You would just knock somebody out. That was their answer to me. And I didn't even think about it like that. I was like, oh, I guess you are right if y'all would have been disrespectful. But then I have cousins who are complete opposite of me. And some of them out, some of them are not out. And they live in a different kind of fear for themselves and just being them, especially, you know, depending on like, you know, I'm not going to out where any of them go to school or whatever like that, but where they're going, it could be a little testy. How was that for y'all growing up and then coming into your own? Like, let's talk about it.
Well, we're all Southern boys. We're all from the South. So
my family from the motherfucker. God damn. What part of the Mason-Dixon each one of y'all come from? I know we got Virginia in the house. We got any Carolinas, Kentucky, something like that?
I'm from North Carolina. Yeah.
My roots. So you too, Drew. What about you, Lamont? You from VA?
I'm from Virginia. Me and Ellis actually grew up together.
Oh, gangster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about it because the South is the Bible Belt is different. It's real down there.
Yeah.
How was that?
I will say that I think it starts with all of the social media, all of the media and what they tell you about what gayness is like, and how you see all of these stories or you hear all of these stories. Firstly, let's talk about the elephant in the room, like HIV and AIDS and all of the sexual promiscuity that a lot of gay men get thrown on them. And that fear and parents telling you like it's wrong or bad, or even just like side comments about other gay people. And you grow up kind of internalizing that struggle, that fight, that fear, being told that you're not good enough, that it's bad, that it's wrong. And you're scared that mostly the people around you at first are not going to accept you for who you are, and that it's a wrong thing, that you yourself have deemed it to be wrong. And it takes, I think, a long time for you to come out of like, I need to live my life for me. I need to be happy with myself, regardless of what my parents, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my friends, what anybody thinks about me, I gotta live in that. And I think the more gay people that you meet, the more different kinds of gay people that you meet, the more examples, the more representation that you see, the more that you become comfortable with where you fit on that spectrum. And I think that that's important, is that we see all different kinds of gay people, because I think that makes it easier to be gay. You see gay people thriving, you see Black queer people thriving with other Black queer people, and you're like, oh shit, it's cool, I'm okay with it. I wanna be okay with it. If they can live and be happy, I can do it too. I can make a way for myself regardless of what other people think around it. And I think that's what's important, and that's what I would like to think our show is doing, is showing a wide varying degree of queer people in all of their success, their ups, their downs, their ins, their outs, and you're seeing it all. And I think it's important because we don't always see that. We usually see like two kinds. We see the DL and we see like the extremely femme or queer explorers. We don't see the normal. I don't think we often see like the regular, degular, schmegular Black queer men and all of that. And I think that's important.
God, does anyone else want to?
Also,
go ahead.
Yeah, there was something cool that you said, and I can't remember the exact words you said, but it kind of put me in the mind of like, you know, a lot of people say like when you're saying you're coming out, you think you're necessarily speaking about telling other folks about yourself. But I like something that you kind of said about coming out to yourself and having to really accept your queerness and your gayness as you know what I mean? And like really be cool with it here first before you can even bring that to the people around you and the family around you, you know what I mean? So I really like the idea of that, because actually maybe up until this moment, I've been thinking of coming out as being like, oh, this is when the person told everyone else in their life. But like, what is that coming out process for you internally? When do you really come out to yourself and say, yo, I'm cool with all of my feminine and masculine energies and how they coincide within this body that belongs to me? You know what I mean? So I really like the idea of that. And I think, yeah, and also how we can kind of represent that on this show and just like the intricacies of internal gayness versus external gayness and how those two kind of coincide. So I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the way that y'all put that, let's talk about the characters now, because it's a wide range of characters in their personalities. So like, because I was thinking about it, like, and I was thinking about it today. I was actually walking my dog, just thinking about going over like, where I want to go with this in my head and stuff like that. And I just was like, I was like, and I was trying to think, I was like, the character of, let's take Jamal and Syed, right? I said the only obvious I would say everyone outside the queer community who they would consider effeminate or whatever the case may be would be Chandler's character, Anthony. Now, I was thinking, I was like, Jamal and Syed are just two regular dudes. Like that's I was like that. I was like, there's no other ulterior motive with. They're just normal people like the rest of us. Like everyone, they're directly showcasing that wide range of gayness that I think would appeal when you're pitching this, or you're just having any, like, if you're trying to introduce the show to somebody. Like I introduced this to a few straight people, and it was very seamless. It was just like, they were talking to me, they would have the typicals like, yo, is it going to be OD? No, it's not going to be OD. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and watch it. It's going to be a correct reflection. And no one came back and said anything different. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything that shocked them to their core, in the sense of like how, like you said earlier, how in media, especially in the past, like I just think of the show Queer as Folk. I even think of the show Noah's Ark. Just how over sexualized we were. And then just, it was like all the same story. Like, you had the few super successful friend, you had the one friend trying to figure it out, but it was all about really sex. One person gets something and they get fucking AIDS, and then it goes through this terrible cycle. But it's like, that's not all of our stories. And I want to know, with you and Ellis, how did y'all get to the point that you were able to get this correct reflection in regards to all the characters and even who they're dating? Like, did you have an ulterior motive behind like how you want to make each character, or was it just kind of like you just let your pen go and then you kind of just restructure after that? Like, what was the game plan going in with each one of them? I know y'all combined shows. I just need, like, I'm interested. I know that was a long Saloon Queen. I'm sorry, people, but I had to really get that thought out.
From before I was with Ellis, and two, when it was with Ellis, I think a lot of the reason people are relating to it so hard is because we broke from life. You know what I mean? Like Ellis and I would kiki with each other and like have like our own little like smoke sessions and like, talk about all these things that happened to us. And to this day, we'll get on Zoom and like tell each other stories about things that happen in our daily lives and laugh about it and be like, oh, that has to be in the show. You know what I mean? Like, we have to write that down. That can happen to this person. Or we'll be on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, and be like, oh, this happened to this person. I was reading about this, or I read this article about this happening to some nigga in Minnesota or something like that. And that really resonated with me. I feel like we should represent that too, So I think the reason people are relating so hard is because we're directly pulling these situations from life and dramatizing them a bit, So the pen the shows really write themselves because it's just real. It feels real when we're making, you know what I mean? It feels very, it feels like home, So.
And I think if you look at these three characters, when I think about them originally, even by myself, I was thinking like, okay, what are three people that if you look at them separately, you think you know exactly who they are, but if you put them together, you're like, wait, I don't know if they necessarily fit. But they do. They really, really do. They come from different, because a lot of times in certain gay subcultures, all of the friends look alike, or they're all very similar and they do all these things. So I wanted to debunk all of that. And then you have this like three different, not extremes, but three different archetypes of what you think gay culture is that wouldn't necessarily all coincide together, that wouldn't necessarily cross paths, but they do, obviously. Because in real life, like our friend groups are so varied. They're so varied, they're so diverse. Even though we're all Black, like we're all very different from each other. All my friends are very different. So I think that was a big part of it too, is like showing that there can be variance in these friend groups. And what's also amazing about them is that the way we've kind of layered these characters is that I feel like somebody can see something in all of them. Yeah. And someone could probably see something in all three of them at once, which has been the thing, is like, oh my God, I see this in him and this in him and this in him. And they make like, it's like with these three characters, we're trying to represent a large spectrum of gay culture. We can't cover it all. We can't cover it all. But we're trying to throw our net as wide as possible, even with the people they're dating. You know, Anthony's dating someone who is bisexual.
Finally, somebody representing us. Finally, we usually shitting on, everybody doesn't like us, whatever the case may be. You can't make a decision, yada yada yada. Fuck y'all. All right, so thank y'all for that. We appreciate that. Shout out to us. I'm being a dickhead. I'm sorry. Continue,
though. No, that's really it, is that we just try to like throw the net wide and show like these three kind of like oddballs that's like, oh, they actually really fit together. And people light up when they're all on screen together.
Absolutely. That's so go ahead, Mr. Drew.
I also wanted to speak on Chandler and their amazing, portrayal of Anthony. I think that is the character, obviously, that plays with gender and or gender expression, and because gender is a social construct. But I think when we think about that group in our community, we forget how much bravery that takes to step out of the door and be yourself and wear heels and makeup and say bitch, this is me and that's it. And we don't give those people enough credit. Our femboys, our trans girls, we don't give them enough credit. And I think in mainstream media, when we see boys who are femme, they're always delivering a joke or a punchline. We never see them really being loved on or sought after. It's always them chasing and dating someone who's DL and getting fucked over. And what I love about this script and what these two lovely guys have put together is we're seeing this guy being loved on. You know what I mean? I think there's an intense bravery with Anthony, and I'm just really I'm excited for that to continue being normalized. And I think For the Boys is doing a lot to normalize those type of gay men.
And let me just piggyback off of that real quick. I just want to say also that bravery and that determination to be their authentic selves every day allows other queer people the freedom to be themselves as well. Like, I think that seeing the most gender fluid of us allows me to accept the parts of my femininity that I didn't want anybody else to see, and be more, open about sharing that as well. I'm like, if they can be their authentic selves, I can definitely be mine. If people can love and accept them, they will love and accept me. And if they don't, then fuck them,
Right, yeah.
Hold on, you just unmuted yourself, Drew. You good?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no, you good? Nah, I just didn't know. Nah, I think those who are their most authentic selves and just in their gender fluidity now, especially in today's day and age, that takes a cold motherfucker, and that takes a different set of balls, because you're just putting yourself out there, being your most authentic self, and that can, unfortunately, in today's day and age, that could backfire in a multitude of fucking ways. So it is absolutely imperative that within our community, because we have people like, you have these individuals in your family. Like, I have an uncle who, like, it's no secret, like, my uncle used to do drag. Like, that's not a secret, you know what I mean? So like, but ain't nobody in that household elsewhere otherwise disrespecting him, and I dared you to do it in front of somebody. That's the kind of respect that you need to have when you're around your people, son. And I mean your people because they your people. cool, son. Like, let's stop fronting out here. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, and listen, I'm gonna have some people here listening. You know, they follow me for political reasons. Hey, listen here, you libertarian motherfuckers who are following me. You talking about live free, die free, right? Well, live free and protect freedom. Freedom is expression. Motherfuckers is grown, do whatever the fuck they want. Move on about your business, but don't let nobody hate on them. You know what I'm saying? And protect that in legislation as well. I said what I said. Y'all know Dean don't fuck around. So now, back on to For the Boys. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I go down to these deep, dark places, but my normal listeners, they know that you fucking with Dean, you go down some corners and some dungeons sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get out, sometimes you don't. We getting out, and I want to know something. I want to get into the real, a little more lightheartedness. What was some of these bloopers? Did we have any bloopers going on? Who was the perpetual line flubber? I want to know. Let's call it. Okay. Who was the perpetual line flubber? Yeah.
Chandler, I love you, but Chandler flubbed the most lines all the time. But he was really cute about it. He'd be like, fuck, he just gets so mad at us. He'd be like, Chandler, it's fine. But there's actually this funny ass blooper of Lamont smoking the weed. In episode 4, he's smoking weed, right? He starts choking on it. And like the choking is scripted, so Lamont would actually like choke every take. But one time he took a hit and he starts choking, and we're thinking the take is rolling, and so Nick continues with the line, and Lamont goes, "Hold up, I'm actually choking, motherfucker." I'm just like, I just have to stop this shit, And I forgot that shit happened until we're watching the bloopers back, or we're watching on the tape, and I was just like, we need a blooper reel. We need to like put that shit out or something. There's a lot of funny stuff that happened on set, like. It was a lot of fun, man. I'm really happy with the process and also the reception, of course. But like, right. A lot of love went into it. A lot of respect and a lot of teamwork, which I really appreciate. So if anybody ever flubbed or anything like that, we all had each other. You could definitely feel the camaraderie between everybody. So that was my favorite part, honestly. So.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
There's also, I wish we could put out a whole, like, probably 20 minutes worth of Denise Manning, who plays Dee in episode 3.
Yo, okay, hold on. Can we hold on. Denise's acting was so on fucking point. She had some of my boys hitting me up like, yo, shorty was wilding, but I kind of want to know her. I was like, I don't even know what she doing, but you gonna have to leave her alone, bro. Like, just don't mess with that poor girl's life. You don't say she a Christian.
Yo, she's everything. She is everything. Shout out to Denise. She is so funny. She's so good to be on set with. She everything, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, please. How did you? Please talk about Denise, because she looked like she brought I think I speak for a lot of people, and I want to create this. I'm trying to create like some kind of insecure. I'm trying to create a something going. I think that I need to see more of Denise and her partner. I need to see some kind of subculture. I don't know if you guys got to create another L word. I don't know what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got to do. Maybe I get another GoFundMe place for the girls. I don't know. But I need something, because the way that they interacted in this motherfucker, I said, oh, shit balls. What the fuck was she doing on set? Because she looked, I feel as if I couldn't even act around. I just feel like I'd just be on my hands and knees like, we usually have to do this shit tomorrow.
Denise was actually truly a happy accident. There was going to be another actress playing Dee, and she was out of town. She was like, oh my God, I'm out of town. I'm so sorry. We're like, no worries. And I just told Mekhai, I was like, I know this girl. I've only met her like twice in person. She's really, really funny. Her name's Denise. And then I like sent him her Instagram. He was like, all right, cool. So I reached out and she was like, yeah. And she showed up to set, and it was amazing. She made everybody else that day just like, everybody was already like on their game, but like she made everyone just like be on their toes, because you had no idea what she was gonna say, how she was gonna say it. Every take was something different. Everything. Somebody posted, I think on Twitter or something, that was like, whoever wrote the Harpo Who This Woman line deserves a pay raise. That was improv. She improv'd it on the last take. We did not write that in. A lot of the stuff, the sugar and the titties, that was her. That was her.
Yo, son, let me tell you something. First of all, she's gorgeous. She's fucking gorgeous. And then on top of that, it's like she doesn't sit still. Like, it, no matter what she's doing, she's just like, yo, so what's the move? And it's like, yo, we all know a shorty like that who's just like, so what's the move? Some of you, yo, if you need it, I got it. If I got it, then you know what I'm saying, what it is. I'm like, so Lamont, because you were working with her. How was it going sparring with the God? How was it being in the dojo with her?
I'm telling you, when I say she's everything, I really mean that. Like, she is so good to work with, such good energy. Like, we vibe from jump. Like, I didn't know her. I hadn't met her before that set. And I came to set with that Ivy Park coat on. She was like, oh, not you trying to stunt on. I was like, oh, here we go. Let's start shooting like this. I was like, let's go. Like, she's truly everything. And also, back to your point earlier about doing a series with V&D, I was telling both Mekhai and Ellis that I think that the queer community wouldn't be what it is without women, without Black women. And so I know it's for the boys, but you can't really do it without women involved. Women run the world, truly. So we owe a lot of us, it's a collaborative experience between us queer men and us queer women and Black people in general. So I think they're the perfect, dollop syrup, icing on the cake, everything, truly. And, Dee is a comedian. I'm just gonna plug her shit real quick. She got a comedy show that's coming out. So y'all go check her out. Like, go check out her Instagram. Like, 16, it's funny. 16.
This is coming out this week. So hold on. So you say April 16th, she got a comic. Like, is it going to be coming out on the YouTube machine, or is it a place that we can go ahead and pay to go see?
I don't know all the details, but go check out her Instagram.
Either way, listen here. I'm gonna be clipping this shit about D. So this is gonna be a motherfucking clip anyway. That's gonna be on the Instagram machine. So trust me, I'm gonna put all her information down there. And god damn it, I ain't gonna front since we here, since we put her over. I checked your Instagram out too, D. I want to hit your DM to see if you want to come on the show. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna front, and I'm gonna let you know now. I'm gonna slide in the DMs. I'm gonna let you trying to come on Conversations with Dean and Black of the Berry. We can sure use that energy. I wanted to be her best friend. Like, I was like, she had me in. I think I'm not even the kind of dude who will give a yas. But I was like, yas, bitch. I was like, whoa, who's that guy? Where did he come from? I didn't even know this motherfucker existed. I looked at Justin. I was like, what's going on, player? What's going on? So now I got a question for you, because in that episode, Drew, that's where you went through the shit.
Yeah.
That's where you went through the shit with old boy. But then you had this moment by yourself. You started cleaning up shit. Question for you. When you in those moments by yourself and you acting by yourself, what do you have to be like? What are you conscious of? What do you not want to overdo? What are you not trying to be too subtle about? What I mean by that is because you're theater trained, right? You're a theater trained actor. Yep. So one, y'all are used to being big, right? If I'm correct, right? You got to be big, you got to be bold, got to be loud, because people in the Raptors got to be able to see y'all and feel your feelings. Yeah. So when you're by yourself with the camera up in your face, what's going through? Like, can you just talk to the normal person? How do you do that scene without necessarily, like, how do you do something like that by yourself? Like, even when I have to talk on screen by myself, that's a different kind of anxiety, because we have content creators who listen to this shit too. So I want to, where the fuck do you go for that? Because I know when I got to do some shit by myself, my stomach drops into my fucking asshole. I'm just like, oh, if this isn't bad, then you can blame nobody else. Like, there's nothing, it was me all the way. What do you do? And I know it wasn't too long of a scene, but it stuck with me because the way you were cleaning up and the way you were looking at shit, you're huffing at the right moment, even the way at the end you smoked. Like, it was a lot going on that was like what we go through.
Yeah. I think All my answers are the same. I have been through that where you just get ready.
I gotta ask better questions then. That's on me then.
It's
That
not
ain't on
that.
you, player. That's
It's
just me
not
playing
even
now. It's cool, Pam. I gotta get my shit up.
it's also that, like, yes, on screen I'm alone, but in the room I'm not. I have Ellis there, Mekhai there, Pierre, sound, like everybody. You know, it's not just me. I'm just the person who the camera sees, but there are plenty of other people in the room. So
You don't get anxiety from that though sometimes?
yeah,
Like, cause it's all on, it's all like boom, we're like,
oh yeah, 100%. Because it was like right, especially the when the curtains opened. Oh, not the curtains, but I split the clothes on the rack, and I was
you're
looking
putting them, yeah.
and I was like, I don't know how this looks, but I'm gonna, but I know that if it looks crazy, they're gonna tell me. We'll just do it again, like no worries or whatever. I think it's really a huge. I think trust is a huge part of that. I think I said this to Ellis and Mekhai, but it had been a very long time since I felt that safe doing art, like that comfortable. So in those scenes where I was by myself on screen, I first of all the freedom to like play, because what y'all don't hear is that that with that poem not there, I'm talking and I'm like doing what Drew normally does, which is like talking to himself and like, okay, we're gonna try this. This is slimming, so we're gonna zip this up and like all that. You know what I mean? Like it's just I think I do try to forget that others are there just so I can like be myself or be in the moment. But I think besides personal experience, there's an intense level of trust on the set for the boys. So while I was nervous, I mean, I was nervous day one. They didn't tell you one blooper that might be there is me messing up like 12 egg cracks because for whatever reason, when the camera was rolling, I didn't know how to crack an egg. I think one of them came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you know?" And I'm like, and then I sent them a video later, like, you see, like when I was at home and looking, I was like, I can do it, you guys.
So, okay. So you normally will cook a sunny side egg? Cause I ain't gonna front. When they had you cooking that shit, I was like, what? That was the only time I was like, why he not scrambling this bitch? I said, why we just not just getting I know, you know what I mean? Why we get the Gordon Ramsay 30-second off, 30-second off? You know what I mean?
I think a sunny side up egg is just maybe a little bit more like
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
You know, it's very walking on sunshine. It's very that. Nah, I don't cook sunny side up. I don't really cook eggs. I don't like eggs. But yeah.
You don't like eggs?
I wish I did. Life would be so much easier, but I don't.
Is anybody here lactose intolerant?
I'm black, yeah. Y'all ain't lactose intolerant?
There we go. Nah, because I'm the only motherfucker in my family who going through this. It make me wonder, like, yeah, am I the mailman's baby? Who knows? I'm joking. I'm joking. My mother and father would shoot me dead. I'm joking, Pops. I know. I've seen the baby. I Pops, come on, chill out. If I'm gonna be calling me, you know, my trigger finger still work, right, son? Okay, I get it, Pops. Okay. From the South, this is what I get. So now, Drew, you talk about trust.
Yes.
Before we get to the moment of trust, I want to talk about before you even got to For the Boys. I want to talk about your audition process.
Okay.
What was that like? Because I know I spoke to them. They said people were sitting like, because you were going against other folks. So what was going through your head? How did you know about it? Like, what's going through an actor's head? I just want to know, like, I look at y'all like athletes. And what I mean by that is because y'all have to go against somebody to get a part. And then on top of that, you got a first string and then you got a second string. And in some cases, that second string motherfucker is a bad son of a bitch. So y'all are just out here. You have to stay on your P's and Q's. So my thing is, when you're going through the audition, were you just going into, like, is it like an athlete where you're just like, I'm about to kill this shit. I'm going to do what I do. It is what it is. Like, I'm fired. Like, what is going through your head? And then what was the audition process like? I want to know, like, are y'all cocky going in? Are you just like, we're going to see what it's hitting for? Like, what is it like?
You know, in normal auditions, like for theater, I do walk in the room being like, I'm not really worried about everybody else because I am prepared. So, like, nice to see all of you. Enjoy the train ride home. I will be getting this part. Like, that's what I like mentally, and then I go in the bathroom and throw up afterwards. But like, that is like where you that the confidence that you have to have going in the room, because if you don't, you're gonna hear everybody else singing down, acting down. It's gonna like just affect you. So you have to go in kind of unfazed in that way. Still kind, still respectful, still at the audition to see your friends and have a good time, but knowing like my appointment is at 5:30. So that's what I'm concerned about, you know. But so when I go into those, it's more like I'm here to present myself. I'm here to do what I've prepared. I'm here to be in the moment, and whatever happens, you're throwing the sides away when you leave, and you go get yourself a coffee and just like let it go. With this, it was a little bit different. So I first heard about the series when I was quarantined on a cruise ship. Ellis was sending the scripts to me, just telling me, "Why are you looking like that?"
You're just gonna just go by that you were quarantined on a cruise ship like that. We're gonna talk about it later, but okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was quarantined on a cruise ship. I didn't really have much to do. I'd had some books, and Ellis was like, "Hey, I'm working on something. Do you want to read it?" And I was like, "Sure." So I read the scripts, and I was like, "Okay, I have to be part of this. I don't care. I'll hold the boom. I just want to be in the room." And then later, he was like, "Would you be interested in auditioning for it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, definitely." And he told me who I was reading for. When I ended up getting home, I think it was like a few weeks after I was home, I, set up my camera in the corner of my room, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous about this one because it is so close to who I am, close to my like actual life experience. There is kind of a weight to it, and you don't want to mess up, and you don't want to, I think I did, I don't know, 2 to 5 takes. I don't remember how many, but I did so many because I was just, I wanted it to be perfect, which is literally impossible. I eventually got to the place where I could just like let it go and just like just say the lines, like be yourself, like go ahead. But this was one of the more nerve-wracking ones because I wanted it. I tried to throw it away in my mind. It's like, it doesn't matter, but it did, of course. So yeah, I think this was unique in that I really, really wanted it. And, and with theater and with other auditions I've done, I want them, but I also am emotionally detached enough to be like, let me put this down. I'm not going to obsess over this. I'm just going to let it go. But with this, these are my friends. These are my peers and colleagues. I want to work with them. I want to be in the room. So yeah, it had its own weight to it that was different from other auditions that I've done.
Mr. Walker, what about you? What was your audition like? Because I know that there was two. I know two people audition. I know one person did. I believe it was you didn't audition. You didn't audition.
I did audition for this one, but I will say that as an actor auditioning, I've done countless self-tapes, and self-tapes are way worse than going into the room. Like, there is a freedom. You get to go in, you do your gig, and then you get the fuck out. When you're self-taping, you're sitting in your own space, just analyzing your work over and over and over again. And yeah, that's hard. That's hard on us. That's a lot on us as actors, because especially when you really want something. I'll also say, like, during this pandemic, as an actor, everybody's trying to do TV and film. Everybody's trying to put something up, do something, show something. And it's a lot of competition. All of the people who were doing TV and film before the pandemic are auditioning. All of the actors out of work on Broadway are trying to audition. Like, it's a lot of competition. So I think walking into a room confident in like, oh, I got this, I'm prepared, I'm good. You can do that. You can walk into a room like that. Coming to your own space and spaces that you're comfortable with, you got anxiety. You got, okay, let me try to figure this out. Let me set up this camera. Let me set up this tape. How is it looking? Do I look good? Oh, I'm off today. I got to do it in 24 hours. It's just like a lot of extra pressure that I think is put on you. But that's the gig. You sign up for that. When you want to be an actor, you know that the part that's going to get you a job is the audition. Is the audition. The work is auditioning. That's really the work. And the play is being cast and being in the show. But the gig, the job is auditioning.
So then I got to ask all of you a question. This is when I asked Ellis, though. So, Ellis don't got it. You can step out on this one, because I want to know. Actually, no, I'm going to ask Ellis another question after this, but I want to know, y'all got any nemesis? Who's your nemesis? Anybody got somebody that you just so sick and tired of fucking seeing when you go into an audition room, you step and you like, oh, you again. If I see you, it's all on site.
It's all love. It's
Y'all
all
are
love.
too
What's
nice.
for them,
Oh.
what's for them is for them, and what's for you is for you. You gotta believe that. You can't.
Oh,
go
the
in with negative
positivity
intentions.
kills me.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love it,
telling
though.
you, that's how I gotta be. Otherwise, you be negative all the time, for real.
It's like catty if you don't do it like that. Also, we are Black, so like auditions are like, oh my gosh, like,
I got you. I see you. I see you.
Fun. We get to see people we don't get to see because everyone has. If you're in New York and you're not auditioning, you're working, so we don't get to see each other a lot. But we see these auditions. It's all love. It's embracing each other. You know, everybody wants to part, but that happens in the room. Outside the room, let's have a good time. Let's go get some Gregory's coffee after, like.
Right. Good to see each other and stuff. So there's just no one like, and I guess let me rephrase it then, because I was a little inflammatory in it. There's just no one that you're stepping in this room and you're just like, fuck. And what I mean by that is like, okay, I'll just put it in for people listening. So like from where I come from, there were certain people that I had to play that we would go see on the sheet and they'd be like, yo, you know your assignment is 91 today. Him? It's like, oh, this is a tall fucking task. Y'all don't get, like, you just don't see somebody, you're just like, you couldn't go for something that, like you're just like, damn it, I gotta bring it. Like, do you, or have y'all not run into that person yet?
I honestly don't feel like that person exists. It's just like you can't allow competition to fuck your life up. You know what I'm saying? Like that competition is gonna get you in your head. You know, it's all about creation. Go in there and be more creative than the last person and the next person. So I don't really view competition like that. You know, it's like everybody, like Lamont said, like everybody is on their own journey and what's for you is for you. It sounds corny, but it's the absolute truth. You know, I believe this show is for us. You know what I mean? Like, and it's for us, like here in this room, and it's for us outside of this room. You know, for us by us. You know, I'm not relying on other people or their opinions of me to make a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm making my own opportunities. We all are making our own opportunities. So we're not being competitive with anyone. We're creating our own, you know, journeys. We're trailblazers. So competition is not something I even like. It's like, you know, that's frivolous.
I'm not even gonna lie. I will say, yes, it is all love, and he's right. Your only competition is yourself. But there are some people who, when they walk into audition, you're like, oh shit, all right, well, here we go. Let's go. It's for me. Now I gotta, you know, they got like, you know, people that be working constantly on every show, go from gig to gig to gig. You like, all right, well, damn, they won. Let me be two then. So that's how it is.
No, I definitely have people like that where it's like, oh, we just see each other a lot. And it's like, wow, you're also really talented. This is going to be, we got to go. We got to do this. We really got to go. But it's fun. I enjoy stuff like that. Eventually, especially like in the real world, there are people where we would see each other so much that we would just make jokes of it. And we'd be like, I can't wait to see what you're about to do with this material because I know you're about to kill it. And it's like that moment from Sorry to Bother You where the two guys are like, complimenting each other. If you've ever seen it, it's really, really funny. But it is really all love. But yeah.
Hold on. We gotta go back for a second to Mekhai. Cause let me tell you something right now. I'm loving the fucking energy in that motherfucker. Cause let me tell you something. I'm gonna say that you caught yourself and you cleaned it up a little bit, but like in the beginning of it, I loved it when you just was like, "There is no competition," and I felt that, especially then when you said,
"I'm so serious." Like this, yeah. Go ahead.
No. Continue. Well, because I guess because it clearly reflects in the show, and what I mean by that is it reflects in just the way that you and Ellis have come together, and you're just putting it like you don't. I can tell y'all just don't give a fuck. Like I can just tell, like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
stuff that authentic doesn't just come.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna paraphrase this. I hope I say it right, but I was reading this novel the other day, or like this book the other day, and they were talking about competition versus creativity. And there's this quote from a musical that I love. You know, yes, I'm a Courtney musical theater boy. But the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation, you know? So, and like the way they were bringing that back, yes, he knows where it's from. The way they were kind of linking it to this novel or this book is that competition is always about like equating. You want the same as somebody else, but better. You know what I mean? Like, I love Jack's house. I love Jack's shoes. I love his car. I want the same thing, but I want it to be better than Jack so I can feel better than him in this moment. You know what I mean? When we bring it back to creation, it's not about having the same as his. It's about, okay, if he got them shoes or if he has that type of car, I'm going to make my own and make it way better for me. And then that nigga's going to want everything that I have. You know what I mean? It flips the idea of competition on its head. So it's not so much about thinking, oh, how can I get what they have? It's about how can I make my own? You know what I mean? How can I create the path that I need to have created for me? You know, so it's not, you rely on other motherfuckers a lot less in your journey. You rely on other people on how, because then once you reach the top, competing with other people, where do you go? Because your entire journey has been about trying to be like somebody else. You know what I mean? So if you keep creating and keep trailblazing, that's why niggas like Beyonce and Jay-Z succeed, because they're not thinking about anybody else, like at all. Charts, Grammys, billboards, nothing. They're not thinking about it. It's like, how can I impress myself? How can I be proud of what I just made? So that's why I say the competition doesn't exist, because I'll gag at people when they go in before me in auditions. I'll be like, yo, you sound amazing, but they don't sound like me, and I don't sound like them, so I'm not gonna even try to like compete in that way. It's like, bitch, if you got it, that's yours. Like, that's amazing. You sounded fucking fierce, you know? And that's the end of the story. Point of period. Like, for real. Like, that's really how I think. So.
When we gonna just get like motivational talk about Mekhai, like, you know, weekly daily affirmations. When we gonna graduate to that? You know what I mean? Put it out there for the content creators and artists and actors and singers. You know what I mean? Let motherfuckers know.
That's just how I think. So.
No, but I think that's something that, you know, if you're a creative actor, singer, you know, into the arts, into whatever it is, I think that's something daily that we struggle with, right? Like, that's something that you just, especially, you know, when you do it for your living, you're trying to do it for your living, is that when you're, you know, you're trying not to be competitive, but in the society that we're in, we're forced to be. Like, you have to, like it's either eat or be eaten. You know what I mean? But then it's like, how do one stay grounded within that whole game? Like, I guess it's so amazing that I've had the chance to meet a few actors, and it's amazing how nice you motherfuckers are. Like, and what I mean by that is, it's like, I've dealt with people with attitudes with a lot less. And then you're just like, this isn't, what? No, like, why would I, no, what's going on? But all of you are just graceful and like cool and just like, why do we get actors who have this, I guess, this bad rep, then, if most of y'all meeting are just fucking graceful, but then I guess all of y'all are just black, so maybe that's a key point there.
I will say, I think that the Black acting community is its own thing, with its own issues that we relate to. It's its own kind of like circle, you know, because we're Black, the shared experience that you have. But don't let nobody fool you. Not everybody all cool, like not everybody all like haha he. Like, not everybody like that. So
yeah, I would imagine.
But you really got to stay grounding yourself. And back to your point, I think that what makes it easier is creating your own work. It's doing things like For the Boys, is like putting things out there that you want to see. Doing that allows for more space, for more people to see, oh my God, let me do that too. Let me create my own shit. And the more that we all create and lift each other up, that's how we all grow. That's how we get good. I think like Issa Rae is such a great example of lifting up other creatives as well on her journey up, bringing everybody up along with you. I think as Black creatives, I can only speak to that because that's what I am. We are all trying to like lift each other up in some way. Like, let's bring up the whole crew. Let's the whole crew rise up. I think that's what we're trying to do with For the Boys. Definitely bringing on artists that we know, like the music behind the show. These are all people that we know. We like know the music, and we're sharing that so other people can share their music and explore that art as well. Like, it's so super important that we uplift each other in this community. Like, we're not against each other. We're for each other, you know, for all the boys.
And so, speaking of For the Boys, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where do we go with this band of characters? Where do we go with Syed and motherfucking Jamal? Where are we going? And people, we will not fucking find out if you don't go to the motherfucking GoFundMe page. I'm sick of talking to you motherfuckers nicely. Listen here, I'm not gonna get my fucking answers that I fucking need and the closure I need to move on with my life, because I'm waking up every goddamn day having to wonder, well, I wonder when Syed's gonna stall on Jamal. I wonder when, like, it's gonna happen. Like, he's gonna have to come at him like, you motherfucker. Like, I'm not talking about physically, but the verbally. Like, when is it gonna happen that we're finally gonna see Chandler just go full throttle with his piece? Like, when are we doing this? And I can't find out if you don't go to GoFundMe. Now, listen, let me tell you what the goddamn GoFundMe is, because I got my blood pressure running through the roof. I can hear my doctor calling me now. It's Go Fund the Boys. And I'm pretty sure that the GoFundMe is tax deductible. You print out your receipt, bring it to your goddamn account, and these motherfuckers be doing a lot more with a lot less. Go ahead and do the right thing, motherfucker. Come on. Help me. Just help me. Fuck it. Just go ahead and help Dean. He just wants to finish out the series. Think about it like that. Do Dean the favor. Do Dean the favor. You know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. Do the right thing. So I think that I don't want to keep you brothers too much longer. You know what I mean? Because I appreciate each one of y'all time. But I do want to just ask y'all for just any kind of closing moments about what creating this, being a part of the creation of this series means to you, and means for other young brothers who are going to see this. Because guess what? I guarantee you, a lot of the people, like, listen, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to watch this show, and they're going to be younger trying to figure out what the fuck they are, who they are. What does it mean to y'all knowing that? I don't know if y'all have gotten messages yet, or you soon will be getting messages talking about how impactful you have been in someone's journey and figuring out themselves. What does that mean to you, and how are you going to handle that responsibility? I'm going to end it on this one.
For me, it means so much, and I can't. It's kind of hard to put into words, like, exactly, like. But to answer your second question with the responsibility of, like, what we will do with it, I feel like we'll just keep opening those doors and, like, breaking through these glass ceilings. I think Ellis and I will agree that we have really big dreams for the show, and we see a lot of those dreams coming to fruition. It's crazy to think a year ago this was just in our minds and was like, maybe a few words on a page. So to see people respond to it so well, and to really, really see themselves in it, and to say things like, I feel so seen or represented, it just means the absolute world. We spoke about it earlier, about it being the whole spectrum of gayness, and I feel like that was the goal, and to have other people kind of preach that back to us, it's like it feels like a win. Like, it feels like a huge win, and I want to keep this responsibility and, like, sharing these stories and keeping the spotlight on us, and also making room for more people to be under that spotlight, branching out to tell different types of more diverse stories. And diverse is such a clickbait word, but, like, more diverse than what white people can think of, like, outside of the white gaze. So that's
more diverse Black stories. Go ahead and say it. I'll say it. More diverse Black stories. Right. That's what it's for. That's who it is. Exactly. Fuck it.
Right. You got
it. Once you asked that question, it just kind of hit me, and I've never thought about it like this before. But I think it's important for me, because I'm writing for younger me, and because I'm doing that, I'm writing for also the generation under me, so they can see positive examples of, and full examples, because it's not all positive. That's the thing, is real, so not positive, real authentic examples of Black gay men throughout the spectrum, especially if you grew up like me, or like a lot of us, where it's like, I remember crying in the shower and praying that I could change who I was. I remember getting really, really sad for no reason and not being able to explain it to my parents, but then knowing that it's because I was hiding a part of who I was. I know what it was like to not have many other people like me, so having to figure it out on my own. I remember, you know, not having positive examples of like being sex positive, so like doing insane things in my early 20s, in my in my late teenage years sexually, because like I had no examples and I was like longing for something. So I think that because Mekhai and I feel like have like opened our hearts and exposed ourselves, what happens is that people see themselves as well, because our stories, we all kind of go through these things. So yeah.
And well, Lamont or Andrew, either one, whoever wants to go next. Thank you, Ellis. Thank you, Mekhai.
Not that you're gonna make me follow that. I would just say, and I've said this before, I think that I want people to see this and be able to connect to any moment in the show, any one of the boys, any one of the guest stars that come on the show, like be able to connect and relate to that experience, because they're universal. It's not just about queerness. Although queerness is a part of the story, it's not just about being gay. It's not just about being Black. It's about being human and showing our humanity, because you don't get to see that often. And yeah, I just thinking about that. That's why I got into storytelling, is I wanted to affect change socially. That's one of my passions. I love talking about social justice, and I love being a part of that movement. And for me, telling stories is a part of that. And I think that the more stories that we share, the more people can open their hearts and divulge into a story, the more that we can create change, traction, the more that we can change the world for the better. And I just wanted to be a part of that.
Mr. Drew, how will you handle that responsibility and reflection?
It wasn't the best decision now to go last. But no, for real, I honestly, when I got the role, I would tell Ellis this all the time. The biggest thing I want is just for people to see our show and feel seen. I really I think that For the Boys is what I needed when I was younger. I definitely would have come into my queerness a lot earlier. I would have accepted myself a lot earlier. I would have known that it's okay to feel how I feel a lot earlier. That is my biggest hope, is that in 10 years, in 15 years, when the world has changed, but also a lot of it has stayed the same. There are little Black boys from North Carolina, Virginia, can find our show on YouTube some kind of way and see themselves and know that it is okay to be who they are. And you know, I think breaking down these stereotypes is also incredibly important. I was never and am never, and I don't think any of us are ever concerned about these characters being liked. We care that they're understood. You know, it's not about because, you know, it's not. People are flawed and complex, and Jamal is not perfect at all, and none of the characters are. We just want them to be understood, and we want people to know that we understand them. And I think, yeah, it is a huge responsibility. And the DMs, I know every single person looking back at me has just gotten DMs about this, that, and the third, just thanking us for what we've done for them, and conversations that we've started. And it's just I think with every view that happens, and you know, as things blow up, and as you know, people reach out to it just really, it reminds it lets me know that I was right. You know, when I read the script the first time, you know, I was right. I knew, you know, and we all were right. We knew we wanted it to be something, but we weren't sure, you know. But I remember when Lamont and me and Chandler like were together for the first time filming the promos in North Carolina, and I looked around and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be something. And we were just right. And I hope that people continue to feel seen and loved and appreciated and supported. And if they don't find, that support in their home, or wherever they are, they can find it on YouTube with For the Boys. So yeah.
No, absolutely they can. They can go find it on YouTube on Slate TV. It's out there now, all the first 4 episodes. And people, y'all rode with us this long. You know why these stories need to be told. It needs to be told not only for the younger generation, but even for the older generation. You know what I mean? For people just, there's a lot of people that you're gonna have to not only fight yourself, fight your family to kind of figure this shit out. You're gonna need stories told by people who look like you that been there, that are gonna do it correctly, and they're not just doing it just to make a quick dollar. They're doing this because they really believe in the message that it's bringing, that it's going to touch home to you, your families, and all. There's people, and even if it's not for you, you got a cousin or a little nephew, or a niece, or you know what I'm saying? You have members in your family that need to have these stories told, because if you're not going to at least talk to them about it, you should at least be able to help them go find the places that will be able to at least point them in the right direction, not send them down a dangerous spiraling path, because y'all don't understand that because of the lack of conversation and communication within our own homes that we are able to have, we do some wild shit. When Ellis said he did some crazy shit in his younger times, I understand that. I think we've all been there, where you just kind of just living wild, young, and free because you don't understand the ramifications or consequences, and you have no one else to talk to about it. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So fucking go ahead and do the right thing, you pieces of shit, and go to goddamn GoFundMe. GoFundMe.com. You know what I'm saying? Go fund the boys. Do the right thing. Write it off on your taxes. You don't have to say a motherfucking thing to anybody. If your accountant asks you, just say you just donated to a non-for-profit. We don't give a goddamn what you say. We just want your motherfucking dollars. Okay? Now listen here. We're gonna wrap this bad boy up, because I appreciate each and every one of you for your time. I thank y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the goddamn Sean Evans from the Hot Ones. This camera, or whatever fucking camera you want to use. Just let the people know where they can find you at. Tell them anything you want to, and I appreciate y'all. Whoever want to go first. Oh, yeah, whoever first.
Yeah, you could definitely find us at fortheboys.series on Instagram, and you could find us at fortheboystv on Twitter. Like he said, the GoFundMe is gofundme.com/f/gofundtheboys. And yeah, keep watching, keep liking, keep sharing. It means the world to us, honestly. You guys have been so awesome. It's crazy that my laptop died, but I'm back, and I just want to make sure y'all know to go watch For the Boys. Check us out, learn more about these guys. I'm really excited for the future of this show. It's gonna be a ride for sure.
And I guess with that, we gon' close this motherfucker out. Listen here, people. Y'all already know what this is. This has been Recaps with motherfucking Dean For the Boys, bitch. Now do the right thing. We gonna say it one more time again. GoFundMe.com/F/GoFundTheBoys, you motherfuckers. Go ahead and do the right thing, baby. Do the right thing. Write it off for your taxes. Fucking go ahead and tell somebody that you did something good for karma. We don't give a fuck. Just give us your dollars. I am Dean. That over there is Ellis. That over there is Mekhai. You got Lamont Walker. You got Andrew Coleman. This has been brought to you by Black and the Berry Networks, baby. Peace, love, and motherfucking chicken. We are out, yeah.